Om Shanti. Today in the Murli, Baba says that you become soul conscious and remember me with a lot of love. Now, there is this sister who came to the center and she was telling me that, Didi, I've been a satsangi and I have been in bhakti for in this birth at least 30 years, and I've been going to a satsang regularly, and this is the first time I've come to Brahma Kumaris, but I have been to different religious places and satsangs, and although I've been in this apparently what I think the spiritual path for 30 years, I don't have love for God in my heart. And she said that I sing praises and hymns and this and that, but if you ask me if there is love in my heart for God, then I will say there is no love. I might have respect, or I'm not saying that I don't believe in God, but I don't have love for God. And then I explained to her that, you cannot have love for somebody who you don't know. Yes, and today Baba uses a very good, so Baba speaks a very interesting thing in the Murli. Baba says, you should experience so much happiness. Baba gives us the unlimited inheritance, cycle after cycle. You children have now received this recognition. You know that you become beads of the rosary and that you will then rule the kingdom number-wise. So Baba uses this word recognition, and so when you have recognition of who God is, because you see, God is the highest on high, but what is that act which is the highest on high act, and what does God do, and who is God, and recognizing that He's doing it for me, and He's actually making me eligible to go to a pure world, and He has practically come and He's speaking to me and teaching me. That's what makes you value Baba's presence, and then that recognition brings you to a place where you love Baba. Yes, and we live in a world where we have a sanskar of taking things for granted, and mostly when we are in a situation or with a person who is giving us a lot of, maybe he's facilitating our life, or that situation is really favorable, we don't recognize, we don't have the recognition that this is so good. So let's say before COVID, did you recognize that nature is so good to you, and you have so much freedom because nature is cooperating with you? But we took it for granted, and then we are in a situation where we have to plead to nature and beg to nature to be our way. So we take things for granted, but we have to urge ourselves to not take God for granted now. We should really recognize that Baba has come and I'm a soul. So when we are body conscious, We think that our needs are very physical, but when you recognize you are a soul and you are empty, and you sit in this egoless state where you recognize who you really are, then you have a lot of respect and love for somebody who has come to uplift you from that state. And there is no human, there is no thing that can really uplift you from that state. And if somebody is a patient and he doesn't value the doctor, so that's really unfortunate. And Baba says, I'm the spiritual healer, doctor, parent, teacher. So you have no knowledge about yourself, or how do you reinstate yourself. You don't have any know-how about how to shift from this impurity to purity. And I'm the teacher giving you every bit of that knowledge. I'm the surgeon who is helping you recover to your healthy state. And you should have a lot of love for me. And love should always be based on recognition. Because I think the problem with love in the world is, so let's take this thing that Baba says today, that you have to be soul conscious. And today in the Murli, Baba says that, in bhakti, people have related incidents where a disciple saw a guru's soul and come and leave that body and enter, and they have had visions. Yes, so he's talking about what Swami Vivekananda said, that he saw Ramakrishna Paramahansa's soul coming out of the body and entering him. So, but Baba says, even if there are, or Meera had a vision. So Meera used to dance with Sri Krishna in the state of trance. But Baba says that you see that even if in bhakti one or two people had a vision, nobody, until Baba came, nobody came to know what a soul is. And the important thing about knowing or realizing a soul is becoming soul conscious. Yes, so that thing was unavailable to us until now. Nobody on this earth who is not listening to Baba knows how to be soul conscious. And Baba says, you know how to be soul conscious. So if I have practiced enough, so let's talk about this love that we think we have for humans. So if I have recognized that I am a soul sitting in this body, and I recognize that every soul has just three things: man, buddhi and sanskar. Correct? If you recognize that you are a soul, then there is nothing, no fourth thing to you. There is only three things: man, buddhi and sanskar. Correct? So if I only have three things, then a fourth thing cannot be my problem. I am a soul and I only have these three things: man, buddhi and sanskar. And my whole entire, that whole spectrum of problems that I experience is based on the quality of my man, buddhi and sanskar. Yes, so, and when you see yourself as a soul, then you realize that, okay, in this situation I'm not thinking right, in this situation I'm not discerning right, and in this situation I'm not able to use the right sanskar. That's it. End of the problems. If you are soul conscious, you recognize that every problem is simply a problem of tamo pradhan, man, buddhi and sanskar. Even if you spoke the most wrong word, even if you did the most wrong action, it's all because of that state of man, buddhi, and sanskar. And then when you understand that, then because I am Baba's child, I know how to deal with this. Because Baba has told me that Buddhi Yog Mujhse Lagao, Man Mana Bhav, and see yourself as my child and emerge your pure sanskars. So Baba says, you connect your mind to me, you connect your buddhi to me. So when you read the Murli, what do you do? It's connecting your mind and buddhi to Baba's mind and buddhi, is it not? That's what is the Murli. Murli is the mind of God. It's what's stored in the buddhi of God. And then when you read the Murli and then when you churn the contents of the Murli in your mind, then what are you precisely doing? You are shifting your man and buddhi and aligning it with Baba. And then Baba says, according to the Murli, I will tell you where to focus, yes, what to see. So you are a point, always stay in awareness of that. Baba is also just a point, stay in awareness of that. And Baba is the ocean of purity, love, peace, knowledge, and you are his child. So don't think that purity or peace or love is difficult for you, because you are the child of the ocean. So if you recognize whose child you are, it will be very easy to emerge your pure sanskars. Yes, so Baba in the Murli today says that if you become soul conscious and you remember Baba, then you will be purified from within, and all the external problems which are a manifestation of a weak soul will soon look like they have disappeared. So this whole thing that Baba tells us about being soul conscious and remembering Baba, and we have to remember Baba with so much love and gratitude. You see, Baba has come, Baba was sitting in a pure world. He has come and he is giving me all of this, this knowledge, this love, this help, this support, this sustenance. Everything he is giving me, and I don't have love for Baba. And if I have love for Baba, I will remember Baba. I will have love for his directions. And if I keep remembering Baba, I'll keep thinking like him. I'll keep, my buddhi will start working like him. And I will be able to hold the sanskar that Baba has given me. Yes, I will be able to be an embodiment of Baba's sanskars. And then you see that when you look at a human being, you will be able to see that that human being is also a soul. And then when you're soul conscious, you love that human being because he's God's child. That's the only reason. Because that's a tiny dot with a man, buddhi and sanskars, which are not so sweet and okay right now. So the only reason you love a human being is because they are God's children. And then you don't love somebody less and somebody more, because everybody is equally God's child. You only love those ones more who listen to Baba more. Yes, because they are good children of Baba. And then there are some who are delinquent children of Baba, and then you love them because they are still Baba's children and Baba loves them, but then you love those ones more who love Baba more, who recognize Baba. And life becomes very sorted. So soul consciousness is like that whole illusion going away and you having total clarity about who you are, and then you have love for Baba, and then you are on the path of recovery. So True love is based on recognition. And see, there are many schools of thought who say that knowing the soul is enough. Yes, and Buddhism doesn't talk about God, and they say that you are a soul and that's it, you should know yourself, realize yourself. But I tell you that, so yesterday there was also this question that somebody put up on the WhatsApp, and they asked me about whether instead of being honest with Baba, we can be honest with ourselves. And honesty with yourself doesn't mean anything in the present condition that you're in. Yes, let me ask one simple question. Do people commit more mistakes and do more criminal action or more sinful action in public or in private? They do more sinful action in private. So our honesty with other people is more than our honesty with ourselves. Yes, and people are not ashamed. And if we look at ourselves also, we are not ashamed to see our sins. We are ashamed that somebody else shouldn't see it. So when we have such low value system and such low state of consciousness, we are living with ourselves in such a mess. We are such a mess inside, and we are pulling on with ourselves. So there is no concept of honesty with yourself. And let's take very simple example, like when somebody visits your place, then you cook and you clean. But when you're on your own, you're not cooking, not cleaning. Yes, and sometimes people are filling their bodies with stuff which they wouldn't offer somebody else. So where there is no dignity, where there is no self-respect, how can there be honesty? So we are pretty honest with ourselves, and that's the problem. So there has to be, respect comes first, and we don't have any self-respect. So what we call self-respect is ego. So other people hurting our self-respect. How can somebody hurt something that is self-respect? Self-respect means your respect for yourself. How can somebody else take it away? So, it's an oxymoron. Somebody took away my self-respect. How can somebody take away something that's your own? That's your respect for yourself. How can anybody take it away? But we don't have any respect for ourselves. We don't have respect for our mind. We don't think before thinking. We keep putting garbage into our mind. And then you see, there was this sister, and she told me that I cannot stop overthinking, and my mind just keeps thinking and thinking and thinking. And then I said, then how do you go to sleep? You go to sleep, right, every day? So before you go to sleep, there is a point where your mind is thinking and thinking and thinking, and then you tell your mind, now enough, I have to sleep. And then you sleep. So you know how to stop your mind, but you don't have enough self-respect to stop your mind during the day. So you don't do it for yourself because you don't mind. You mind what it's doing to you, but you don't mind the thoughts. So some people don't mind the wrong they are doing, they mind the consequences. So you don't mind your overthinking, you mind what it's doing to you. That's why you are asking somebody to help you, but that's your own mind. So if you mind the thinking, you will stop it. Can't you tell your mind what rubbish, where are you going? That's not for you. That's not healthy for you. Just stop. It has to listen to you. But we don't have enough self respect. We do not have value for the purity of my mind. Do you have value for the purity of your intellect? So, some people just keep infusing their intellect with body conscious ideas. So, do you understand everything that you're watching, listening is creating your thought process, and it's creating your, it's shifting how you look at things. So, if you have self respect for your buddhi, you wouldn't watch stuff or hear stuff that's not based on truth. So, every creation in this world is based on body conscious ideas. And then those body conscious ideas are creating a state of the buddhi where you are discerning and deciding, not as a soul. So you should have self-respect for the mind and the buddhi, and then what sanskar. So even if somebody is losing all their dignity through, behaving in a certain way, ask yourself, does it suit me to do that? If I speak this word or if I behave in this manner, I will lose my self-respect. I won't respect myself. I wouldn't like the person I am. So if you have self-respect, nobody can take away self-respect. That's a fundamental truth. And the second thing is, we should have respect for our mind, buddhi, and sanskar, and then we should have respect for whatever we call our own, and primarily the body. You see, the body is a temple in which I, the soul, live. So I should have so much care for its purity and its cleanliness. So I should pay attention to keep every organ of the body clean and pure, and not see things and hear things that pollute me, and not engage in activity through the body which leads to impurity of the soul. So that's called self-respect. And where there is no respect, how can there be honesty? Can you have honesty with someone you don't respect? There is no honesty where there is no respect. So Baba says that, and Baba also moves us, shifts us from this ego to self-respect. And when we start valuing ourselves, respecting ourselves, then maybe honesty with the self also becomes a concept, but not until then. And I think not in this birth. Maybe in Satyug we can say that deities are honest to themselves, but in this birth it has to be honesty with Baba alone. And for honesty with Baba, we need love for Baba and respect for Baba. You are honest to someone you love and respect. And you love and respect Baba, because you see, Baba is the one that even people who don't know love and respect. Yes, so Baba is the height of someone who deserves love and respect. But Baba says, you have to recognize me so well that your heart is filled with gratitude, love, and respect for me. And then in that love and respect, you always remember me. And when you start remembering me, you come to this place of self respect, self honor, and valuing yourself. And then when you've created that sanskar, so soul consciousness is basically respecting yourself. And then when you have created that sanskar, then Baba says, I will leave you. And then you will be in Satyug and Tretayug for 21 births on your own, because I've restored you to yourself. But until then, this love for Baba, remembrance of Baba, honesty with Baba, this is the only way. So Baba cannot be, you cannot have a spiritual process without Baba, because we are very bad parent and teacher to ourselves. So whatever we are teaching ourselves and however we are grooming ourselves is not okay. So we need Baba, who is the supreme parent, supreme teacher, supreme guide, supreme surgeon, and then we have to submit to his authority. And Baba today says, I am the authority. So I am the authority of knowledge. And people in the world say we are authorities of scriptures. I am the authority of knowledge. And today's Murli is fantastic, and it tells us that nobody in the world knows what soul consciousness is. So, and I teach you not only what is soul consciousness, but I teach you how to become soul conscious. Yes, and Baba in the Murli today says, so Baba says, sweet children, remain constantly happy. The more you stay in remembrance, the more happiness you will receive. So this is a blessing that the Father gives you. Now you see, the Lokik father, the physical father, also wants the child to be happy. Yes, but you can only make the other as good as you are. So even if they want the child to be happy, they are themselves not happy people. So, so they want the child to be happy, but they teach them as they are. And then, there's a very interesting, funny situation. So there was this Mata, and she would keep crying all day. And then she would say, I have never found peace in life, but I want you to find peace. And she would keep telling her daughter, and the daughter will also keep crying, listening to those words. So now you are telling the daughter that I want you to find peace, but in the process, what are you giving? She's the most peaceless person right now. She's crying in front of you, and that's all she has learned from you. So you are crying because you don't have virtues and powers. You don't know what purity is or what power is. And then you are making the daughter equal to yourself, and then you are telling her not to cry. So Baba says that people in the world, they try to bless their children, but then they cannot bless because they don't have the power to bless. They are themselves so powerless, and they give the opposite of the blessing, perhaps. So Baba today says that I'm really giving you a blessing, and I'm blessing you to be constantly happy. For 21 births, there will be no sorrow. And Baba is giving us the method to do that, and the method is remember me. So become like me. So the law says when you remember someone, you become like them. And Baba says, remember me, I am the ocean of knowledge. So you churn the knowledge that I give you. I'm the ocean of peace. I never become peaceless. So when you remember me and see yourself as my child, you will also acquire the quality of being peaceless, being peaceful, sorry. And let me, so have you seen that even if you remember a great person, like you read a book about somebody who has, so you maybe, maybe Abdul Kalam or maybe anybody, you read a book based on their life or you read an article based on their life, and then it colors you for some time. It has an impact on you. So remembrance is so powerful that when you remember somebody, you imbibe whoever they are. And it could be virtues, it could be something else. But then remembrance colors you. That's the law. And then Baba says, when you remember me and not remember me as you think I am, but as I tell you I am. So I am telling you who I am through the Murli. I'm talking to you. I'm presenting myself to you like I am. Nothing is to be left to imagination. You can see who I am. And then you have to train yourself to think of yourself as a soul and remember Baba, because this is not physical and you're very body conscious. So you have to train yourself to think of yourself as non-physical and remember the non-physical Baba. Yes, so Baba says, but if you make that effort, then you will become constantly happy. So Sada Sukhi Raho. Baba gives us the blessing of that. And Baba says, I really make you Sada Sukhi. I mean it, because for 21 births, there will be no sorrow at all. And then Baba today says, so Baba today talks about two things. Baba says there is Shuddha Nasha and Ashuddha Nasha. Now, what is Shuddha Nasha? Pure pride and impure pride, Baba. It's translated into English. And then Baba says there is karma also is pure and impure. Yes, so Shubh Karam Mein Na Deri Karo was the song today. So Baba says, what is Shubh Karam? Shubh Karam is to become pure and make everybody pure. So Baba says, that's the Shubh Karam I teach you. Yes, and when you do that Shubh Karam, you get the result of it, that you move to a world of peace, happiness and prosperity. So Baba says that's the biggest Shubh Karam you have to do, that is become pure and make others pure. And then Baba says also have pure pride. So Baba says there is impure pride. Impure pride is pride about something that is perishable. Yes, and pure pride is pride that God is mine. Yes, and Baba says you should have this pure pride, because this pure pride will substitute the ego. Yes, so ego cannot be substituted by anything else but pure pride. So you should have pure pride that I belong to God Himself. God is my teacher and parent, and He has adopted me and is taking care of me. And when you have that pure pride, then it induces you, it motivates you to do pure karam, which is Shubh Karam, which is become pure. And then Baba says that when you have this pure pride now, in Satyug you don't have this pure pride. In Satyug, you don't say I'm God's child. In Satyug, you're just a noble deity, yes? So you don't have that Shuddha Nasha that I'm God's child. But Baba says this is your time to have this pure pride, and in that pure pride do the Shubh Karam, because pride also makes you do the impossible. So this pure pride will make you do what looks like the impossible, which has become pure. So this is something that Baba today says. And then, so in the blessing, I will read out the blessing for you. It's a very nice reiteration of the, or summarization of the whole Murli. So Baba says, there is a complaint from children, which is that their relatives do not listen to them, they do not have good company, and because of this, they cannot become powerful. So, children keep saying, my circumstances are not favorable and people are not cooperative. So I always end up losing my peace and happiness because of them. However, Baba says, however, you are blessed as being an embodiment of knowledge and an embodiment of power. Therefore, make your stage unshakable on the basis of following elevated directions. Observe each one's part as a detached observer. Remain stable playing your Satoguni part. Constantly stay in the Father's company, and you will not be colored by any color of the company of Tamoguni souls. Now, what does this mean? So, until now, we were programmed that our happiness is a product of the circumstances we are in. And therefore, we thought, and we used to make people sit down and ask, बताओ ऐसे में आप खुश रह सकते हो? है ना? Look at my condition. Can anybody be happy in this condition? Yes. And then they would say, no, no. If anybody would be in your condition, they would be miserable. So we had this programming that our happiness is totally based on the quality of the relationships around me and the circumstances around me. But now we have understood that happiness is a product of your own karma. Yes. And your karma is related to your stage. Yes. And your karma is not related to how other people are behaving with you. It's related to what stage you are in. And Baba says, I have given you the knowledge and the power to maintain a high stage in which you, the soul, are. And when you maintain that, then you will be able to do two good karma. First good karma is you will be able to see everyone's behavior without getting enmeshed in it. You will be able to see everybody's behavior as a detached observer. And the second good karma is you will be able to do what suits you, elevated soul, in that situation. So even if somebody is shouting, you will not shout back. You will maintain your sweetness and your silence. And that's what will make you, not lose your happiness. So Baba says, now understand what is the true way to happiness. And then Baba also says that when you keep constant company of Baba, and how does that happen? When you think of yourself as a soul, because who we remember is based on who we think we are. So if I think I'm a teacher, I'm bound to remember the student. If I think I'm a soul, I will remember Baba. So when I remember Baba, then I will be colored by his company. Then I'll remember all these things. And then other people's behavior will not be able to color me. And I will be able to respond accurately, look at them as a detached observer, and that good karma will allow me to experience happiness. Okay, Om Shanti.